Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jamie's Football Chat, and we have the lovely Rachel on tonight with me.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So I'm excited tonight because we're going to talk about the PSG result, which obviously Man United fans are all still gutted about. Upcoming West Ham game, Ronaldo obviously hitting 750 goals, which we've got to talk about, and some other different issues that we've got as well. So, anything else you want to say, Rachel?
I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to kind of help you out and get you started. And yeah, I'm just happy to talk about the game tomorrow. I'm just looking forward to seeing us back in action. Hopefully, bounce back from a disappointing loss. And I'm just hoping that we come back and absolutely smash them, because we're due a good result at West Ham.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's like so obviously, like on what day was it? Tuesday, Wednesday we played now? What day now?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, sorry, I lose track of days in lockdown. Lockdown brain.
Oh, I know, tell me about it.
Your brain just goes. But yeah, so obviously we're watching the game, and I think we had like sort of 3 or 4 clear-cut chances with Cavani, obviously with the lob, hit the bar. Martial's 2, but people are all slating him and whatever. And I think I want to just talk about Martial a second, because I think the one he had, obviously, was a sort of easy chance. You should have buried that. Ibrahimovic would have. But obviously the other chance he had was exactly. Yeah, I think we all would have, wouldn't we? Yeah. And my one friend Josh Hyatt, he was a good poacher. He'd have scored that. So I also think the Martial one, the second one he had, was a really good block from the defender. So you can't really do much against that. It's just great defending, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he could have done a little bit better. I think he could have taken an extra touch rather than just trying to volley it, rather than just try and absolutely smash it. I think potentially he could have maybe taken it down onto his other foot and maybe slotted it past the keeper instead of absolutely smashing it against them. But I mean, Martial's Martial. I find with Martial, he's just so inconsistent, and that's what frustrates me about him. And sometimes I find his attitude isn't great, isn't the mentality that you want from a striker, from someone who's supposed to be getting 20-odd goals a season. He's just not hit his stride this season yet so far. I mean, he's only got 1 goal, which was the penalty that Rashford kindly gave him. He's just not hit his stride this season yet. But I mean, I'm not giving up on him. I know that he does have talent, but the problem is he's just so inconsistent that it's just frustrating. And those chances still annoys me, because I feel like I could have buried them. And I'm not a footballer.
Yeah. But Ollie will ring you up after this and say, "Rach, you're up front next time with Greenwood."
I can get your boots on. I might as well give it a go.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I'm probably biased here, because a lot of my friends, I do love Martial. He's like my favourite United player, before obviously Bruno, but he's like, favourite United player. And I just think the guy, he's been here, he's 25 now. So he's maybe been here about 5-6 years. And I just think in terms of when he's on it, he's got so much world-class talent. And he reminds me like a Henry, because he cuts in from the side. You can do like score world-class goals. And like last season, some stats here, he played 48 times and got 23 goals in all comps, which was brilliant, like a proper number 9. But it's what I always find, when someone else comes in, like an Ibrahimovic or Cavani or whoever, he sort of doesn't sometimes like, or Lukaku, he doesn't, or Sanchez as well, he doesn't like to sort of be chucked out. He loses confidence. He just seems at the moment, again, a guy that's lacking comfort again, and he's very much, like you say, inconsistent, and he's only really thriving on if someone's giving him the chance. He's playing all the time. He loves it. But when you're a striker, the best ones go even better when you've got the combo, don't you, sort of thing? You know what I mean? And you sort of think, right, I've got somebody else here, I'll roll my sleeves and go even better. But it seems, again, he's dropped his level again, like he did not last season, the season before.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was saying that some players, especially I'm saying like Luke Shaw and other players like that, they thrive off competition. So
definitely
when
De Gea this season as well.
Of course, yes. Now that Henderson's come in, he really needs to up his game, and he has. He's been absolutely world class for us the past,
100%.
I want to say 6 games. But then Luke Shaw as well, when Brandon Williams was after his position last season, and now that Tellers has come in this season,
he was playing brilliant.
Obviously, before he got injured, he was playing fantastic. He was crossing balls. And Luke Shaw never crosses balls before.
No.
So it was great to see him actually going for it. But obviously it's just unlucky that he got injured yet again. He's very injury prone. But I mean,
He gets
Martial
always injured at the wrong time as well, Rach, doesn't he? He gets injured at the wrong time.
Exactly. But I think Martial just doesn't like competition. He likes to be the main man. And he
does.
He just doesn't like competition, unfortunately. But his attitude needs to change. I think he just needs to thrive.
It does, but you can't have that at big club. With the times that even obviously coming back to '99, it's too far ago now. But obviously we can. But 2008, when we had Berbatov, which was Berbatov, Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, the four of them. None of them really, sulked about. They just always moved about in position. Rooney sometimes on the wing, and they all just sort of interlinked and changed. Rather than nowadays, people like players want to play all the time. You can't. You've got to sort of come in and out. And I think Martial would help if he did that. He'd be more fresher. Rather at the moment he's playing, guy's got so much talent. He can come back, but it's just at the moment he's just lacking confidence. And I think that putting him on the left, you think, oh, maybe Cavani in the middle, but then he still doesn't look as good. Like before last season, he was literally running with the ball on the left, and he players would try and tackle him, and they wouldn't even get near him.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the problem is this season, especially, that I think that red card at Spurs really, really knocked him. Because obviously he was out for 3 games suspended after that red card.
I forgot that.
So I think maybe that's just interrupted his flow a little bit. I know he was still able to play in the Champions League, but I think it's completely different. Like I think it really, really did knock him. But obviously he didn't score before that. But
it wasn't a red card in a month of Sundays.
Oh no, it wasn't. I still don't understand how that was given, but I mean, that was weeks ago
and
now.
the game may have even been different then. We would have lost because we played rubbish. But at the end of the day, if you had stayed on the pitch, it could have been even closer.
It could have been. We never know. But that game was just awful.
No. Yeah, it was terrible, that game. But I think it's just to finish on Martial, really, is that he scored absolute worldies and obviously scored so many even in the short time he's been here. But last season he did score some more 9 goals, and the help of Oli was sort of sticking in those 9 positions, and Rashie on the left and Greenwood on the right. In the sort of Project Restart sort of time, he was banging them in, and he looked great. And just think, like you say, since that red card, he's knocked a lot of confidence off him, I think.
I think Project Restart, everyone was firing on all cylinders. Like Greenwood, he had an amazing latter half of the season. Fred as well, he was amazing. I genuinely think the problem is that everyone's tired. Because we had no preseason, we had no break in between seasons, really, apart from maybe like 2-3 weeks.
Because Europa League.
Exactly. So I just think that everyone's just shattered, to be completely honest with you. But I mean, this season's all up and down anyway. You can't call this season at all. We could go on a good run and we could get near the top. You never know. So I think this season's just anything can happen, really. So we need to take our chances when we can.
Exactly, and it was just good that I think that the PSG game that we've had Mr. Mourinho when he was it Seville game when we lost, and it was one of the worst games I've ever seen as United. And we're absolutely terrible, so defensive. Subs bench obviously stronger than the starting 11. It was just an awful game. We played absolutely terrible. But the game on Wednesday, we were absolutely played really, really well. Yeah, I could have scored. I think the Martial had 2, Cavani. Bruno had the one first half when he should have passed it. Sorry, should have shot. Sorry, but he tried to pass it to Cavani. He could have scored a lot. And PSG were up to their old antics, and he just sort of winds you up. And end of the day, De Gea made a couple of good saves and that, and they're just they were clinical really compared to us, which we wasn't. So really, it's fine margins again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the performance Wednesday night was it was great. I was really, really proud of how we were getting so many
down the right hand side. We were brilliant.
Yeah, down that right hand side, we were getting so many opportunities that we just didn't convert though. But if we'd have taken those chances, we wouldn't be having this conversation that we were disappointed. We would have maybe got a point, maybe even won. I just think we should never have lost that first game to Istanbul, because we wouldn't even be in this position of needing a point. Because now obviously we need to go to Leipzig, and we need to hope and pray that we get a result to get through, because they'll be well up for it, especially the way we absolutely battered them last time out.
Yeah.
So they're going to be they're going to be after our blood, really. So we need to wise up and we need to field our strongest team against Leipzig to have a chance of getting through.
100%. And I think that the Turks, the game away, we were absolutely shocking. That sort of that goal, the one from the corner, was just ridiculous. I think that's one of the biggest things that people are saying now. Not so much the PSG game. It was that decision, that moment was just like ridiculous. And I think that sort of time's gone on now, and I think the Turks have actually played really, really well. They played well against Leipzig. Could have drawn. So you never know. They might even shock and go to PSG and get a draw or something.
Oh God, I hope so. That would be great.
Imagine that would be hilarious if that happens, though.
Send them packing.
Around the front room.
I just wish we would have won.
See Neymar crying. He's always a good sight.
Yeah, sent them packing.
Yeah, same.
That would have been great.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I saw as well was that people are sort of were slating Ollie and whatever. And again, the game before we played well against Southampton. Well, first half we still even played well all game. We just obviously let those sort of set pieces in. And obviously, we got the great comeback of Cavani and Bruno. But then you look at people saying Fred should have got took off, which I agree. He should have got took off. But Ferguson, in his the greatest manager ever, but he also had his bad European nights. And I think I saw something here that a lot of times with these players, Solskjaer rates Fred really highly in our team, the way he plays and the way he gets the ball. He didn't want to take him off. So he thought, well, Pogba's not done much lately. Mathematically, he's quite slow against the pacey sort of players. So I want to keep him on. And I think that I remembered here from the 2008 final, Scholes got booked in at the 20th minute or something. He didn't get taken off until the 87th. So it just shows you that it's not always people think, oh, take someone off. He actually got left on, and we won that game. But at the end of the day, things could have been a lot different. And I think it shows you Ollie rates him highly in the way that he plays. So he didn't take him off. He should have done, but you can.
I think the problem with the Fred incident and how it's different to saying if it was just a normal booking, that was not a normal booking. He should have been gone. I don't understand how that was not a red card. In the Premier League all day, that's a red card. He gets sent off. So I think he was on the ref's radar. I knew that any single stupid tackle from Fred and he would have been gone, and he was. But even the second yellow that he did get, that wasn't a yellow card. He got the ball. It was just his follow
through. He got the ball. Just he followed through. Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, like I said before, he was on the ref's radar. The ref's obviously gone in, maybe at halftime, had another look at it and saying, I've fucked up here, because it was a red card in my eyes. It was red all day.
100%. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but again, it was that Argentina against Brazil sort of connection, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Each other.
I can see potentially why Ollie didn't take him off, because we were playing very well up until half time, and potentially he didn't want to disrupt the flow of the game by taking such an influential player out. I mean, Fred's so tenacious and he just goes at it that he's a massive part of the team, and we do miss him when he's not playing. I think we've lost one game when he's not started.
That's an unbelievable stat.
Yeah, he is absolutely insane. So I think maybe he just didn't want to disrupt the flow of the situation of the game. Maybe thought, if we can get another goal here, then I'll take him off and put a more,
then bring him off,
a Pogba or Matic or someone, just to kind of park the bus. But things just kind of went from bad to worse. So it was a bit naive on Ollie's side. I do think he should have taken him off. I would have taken him off.
Yeah,
but
like when I said, I wasn't sort of defending him. It was more to the fact of like it happens in European nights.
I always try and play devil's advocate. Like, I can see the side of why he kept him on, but I would have taken him off. Like, I can see why he didn't start Donny, but I can also see why he didn't. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of swings and roundabouts.
Because the Scott and Fred connection.
Exactly. But then you've got to think McTominay only came back into the team for that game, and was he really as fit as what he should have been?
Was he fresh?
Yeah, exactly.
He had all those games for Scotland, didn't he? So it's a good show. Exactly. But I think it's like you say with the Southampton game, when we were trying to get those goals to win us the game. Fred was an absolute, catalyst in the second half. Everything was going through. He was passing the ball forward. He was brilliant. So I think it's because he played really well that game. He didn't want to sort of take him off, but he had to just take him off and move him on. And even if he it took him off him and may have even lost. You just had to do something, and sometimes making it sub to just try something. And PSG did that, didn't they? They brought on Herrera and whatever, and they tried to mix it up with their midfield with the Verratti and that. They were really good.
Mm-hmm. They completely suffocated Bruno. They just did not allow him to play at all. I just thought Bruno's body
stop
language
the central midfield. You're right.
Yeah, it was just awful. I don't think Bruno had a very good game at all. But by his standards, I mean, he was
didn't.
okay, but by his standards, it wasn't.
But he always tries 100%, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But I think he definitely needs a rest because he's playing every single minute. He needs
He does.
He needs a rest.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
100%.
And then I saw that on here that someone else listened to TalkSport earlier on, and they were saying sort of exactly the same things as probably me and you think, that sort of the Mourinho sort of style of football was sort of dire, tepid. The Van Gaal was very sideways, sort of boring football. But I think that Ollie's brought the integrity back in our game, intensity, and we got some identity back. And I think it's just been that long since we've had that. And against PSG, like we've said, we played actually really well, could have won the game. Just fine margins again, and I think that Ollie, we are moving the way forward. If you look even some of those performances under the previous managers, like Seville game I mentioned, it's just unfortunate fine margins, and we have to judge him at the end of this season. And I think if we get to them, we've not got no trophies and we're out the top four, then obviously it's a different issue. But at the moment, we've only we haven't even played sort of 10 games in the league yet. So
yeah, and of course we're a game behind everyone else. So we do have that game in hand against Burnley,
which we go 2 points behind.
Exactly, 2 points behind the top. So I understand all the Ollie out brigade, and I understand that Ollie's tactics aren't present all of the time. He's not consistent whatsoever. But at the end of the day, he's inexperienced. So he's not going to be consistent all the time. But obviously, to be a Manchester United manager, you need to get there quickly. Otherwise, people are going to be calling for your head. But I just don't want to keep going around this managerial merry-go-round. I hate it. It's like
same.
I just hate it. And I love Ollie. He's a club legend. Absolutely. I have not a bad word to say about him. But he does have tactics. We've seen from the Leipzig game this season, the PSG game, Southampton, Everton. I mean,
subs in the right time.
Exactly. We have very, very good wins this season.
Everton played well, yeah.
Exactly. We have very good wins this season, and he has been tactically great in most of them. It's just the times where I think Ollie's a bit naive, and he just gets it wrong sometimes. But I mean, doesn't everyone?
Yeah, exactly, and I think that with what makes me laugh is that obviously because we're the biggest club in the world, that everyone likes to talk about us, sort of like clickbait. That no matter as soon as we win, people say it's always another game from getting more stick. So obviously the PSG game we lost, you get all TalkSport and all the other ones coming out saying he needs to go. Simon Jordan comes out saying he needs to get the sack. It's the same old thing again, and you're like, we're actually playing not too bad football. And if you do it again, as you said, Rach, we're going around another circle. You sack the manager, and you go again, and if Pochettino comes in, it's like, well, what else he's going to do with the current squad? We know in the summer that we should have got Sancho and Grealish. What team we would have been then? We got Cavani up stop gaps. But the thing is that it's recruitment again has done us again. I know we've done some good recruitment, but last summer, Glazers have shown in all the managers we've had since Fergie, it's the second season they've not backed the manager enough, either Mourinho, Van Gaal. And they've done that all the time, and they've done it again with Ollie, and sort of left him under a bus, which again is has hurt this season. Luckily, we've got these two sort of kids that we've got, Facundo and Chiore, but again they're only young, so.
Yeah, I mean that Palestri, Facundo Palestri, he's played I think 2 games for the under-23s now. He looks like a decent player.
Yeah,
it's obviously just very young at the
moment. Why didn't he put him on the bench? He's better than Lingard.
I just don't think he wants another Dan James situation. Like if you throw him in too early.
That's true.
Like Dan James he was firing when he first came in, and then he dried up, obviously, and now everyone's saying that
because he played him too much.
Yeah, exactly, and it's too much pressure on a young shoulders as well. Like I think he just needs to get a little a little more time in the under 23s, and then if we get really, really stuck, then we could bring him in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. I think it's like you say, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be all the games quick succession, lots of injuries and that as well. And we just got to try and cope and get through it. But Pogba again was another issue. Again, he comes on. He didn't do anything, but I think that's what he's done for the last few seasons. And he didn't do anything. No, it obviously wasn't his fault. But at the end of the day, he came on the left, which isn't really his position anyway. So I think it's just at the moment trying to fit him in. And Van den Beek played against Southampton. He's absolutely outstanding. But I just think that if he plays in, he's a typical Dutch footballer. He's so intelligent and he looks great, especially if he's going to be linking with Bruno. But we need to get another central midfielder.
He reminds me of a younger version of Mata, because Mata's footballing brain it's beautiful. Exactly, and he's got the feet, he's got the intelligence, to find those little passes in between. I always kind of liken him to a young Mata because obviously I love Mata. I just wish he was younger.
Same.
So now we have someone that is football minded. Like obviously Dan James, he doesn't have a football brain in his body.
No, he doesn't.
He thinks he can just run at people, and then he gets up the front, and then he looks up, and he doesn't have an idea what to do because there's 4 players in front of him, and he just runs into them. Whereas you've got Juan Mata and Van der Beek, who they have that intelligence to stop, look, and kind of find the right pass that's going to open the defence up. So I can't wait to see him play a bit more. I just think that he wasn't started on Wednesday because of the swollen ankle he had, and we need him fresh for.
Yeah, it looked bad. That did on Instagram.
It did. I just hope he's okay. I think he's going to be okay, but I just hope that he plays against West Ham, 100%.
But I think, yeah, exactly. I think it was Ollie said, didn't he, in the press conference on Wednesday morning, that we actually had a fully fit squad. So he was sort of even naming there people like Phil Jones, Rojo, they were fully fit, and Bailey was back as well. I think I saw a training. So we've got all these, but we do need to sort the recruitment out in January and ship a few of these out because they're just deadwood. We need to get rid of to make it a smaller squad that we can then get some more better players in and hopefully get a central midfielder as well. Because I think you went back to say about Mata. He's sort of gone a bit off the radar lately, but earlier starting the season, playing against sort of the teams against League Cup games, Brighton, that he was outstanding. Playing some sort of suited. You had some quick players with him. Greenwood was a bit better then, and he started really good. But again, it's like you say, he can only sort of play now in certain styles. No good putting him on the right because he's too slow to do that now. He's older, so you've got to put him in the number 10 position and have your quick wingers. And if you've had Sancho with him, oh my God, I know I keep going about Sancho, but God.
No, I know. I just think against quick teams, the likes of like PSG, he shouldn't have been. He should never be anywhere near a squad when we're playing against people with pace because his legs they aren't there anymore. But I mean, his football brain makes up for it. He's just so intelligent, and I just love the way he thinks about the pass before he makes it. And he's a beautiful footballer. I just wish we had more years with him.
Definitely, and he never moans either. If he's on the bench, he comes on, gets brought off a lot of the times, and he just gets on with it. And it's just it's a joy to see, really. And I think that Rach has shown a lot of playing too much over the last. We do it with all these like Rooney and that. He sort of burn out these players. He's had his shoulder problems. Had a few games out not so long ago. And last season, he's obviously out for a long time. And again, he just needs another sort of rest again. It was funny that he brought on a Garlo at the end, but obviously he didn't do anything. But it would have been hilarious if he scored. But maybe we need to sort of freshen it up against West Ham and. Say again, sorry.
That was awful. I didn't understand why he brought Igalo on in the 89th minute. I was like, what?
Just another body up front, wasn't it? Yeah.
What was he going to do? I don't know.
Could have put Maguire up there.
Exactly. Chuck everyone up. I mean, their third goal was just like I wasn't even that bothered about it because I was like, at least we're chasing the game. We were piling people forward, and that's what I want to see from a Manchester United team. When we need a goal. Exactly. It's just like you were going back to before about the guy on TalkSport, how we were saying the Louis van Gaal and David Moyes and fucking Jose Mourinho. The football was so fucking boring, and I never used to get excited to watch United anymore because I knew it was just going to
Same.
be shite and it was probably going to end up 0-0
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
opposition would win 1-0 because we were parking the bus too much.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see attacking football, and I
Yeah.
see the progression. I know not a lot of people see the progression, but I see the progression that Ollie is bringing to this club, and I can see where he's going with it, and he just needs the time and the backing of the board. The board needs to go anyway, but that's a completely different issue.
Yeah, we could talk about that all night if you start talking about the board.
Exactly, nothing is going to change until it changes up there, and that's what needs to happen. But I'm completely behind Ollie. I was angry on Wednesday night with just some of his decision making, and some of his decision making on not a regular basis, but some games it frustrates me, and I can see where Ollie outers are coming from. That we're never going to go forward with Ollie in charge, but I politely disagree. I think he will take us forward.
Same. And I think, he's brought a lot of good players. And I think that we went back to you said about Mourinho, Rach, was that I think people say, I think he got second in the first season, which was an amazing achievement. The league wasn't that great then, but there's one man that did that for us, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And he's 39 now, and he's absolutely killing it in Serie A. And he's one of the best. He will go down as one of the best players ever. He was that good. And he scored, obviously, a load of goals. Rooney was still there then scoring goals. Mkhitaryan had a good season. So I think that sort of like hid the fact that we had Rooney in charge because we had these sort of big players still, rather than now. We haven't got that anymore. We've only really got Cavani and Bruno and Maguire that are proper leaders. McTominay. So we haven't got that anymore. So that's what's going to it's harder. But it was a really breath of fresh air to see Cavani sort of put that shift in second half against Southampton, and sort of it was sort of like Henrik Larsson sort of style goals, proper Andy Nisser sort of finishes as well. It was brilliant, joy to watch really.
He's a proper goal poacher, isn't he? He waits for the right moment to go. And
movement is brilliant.
That's what, like you say, that's what we haven't had in so long. We haven't had a big man to aim for in the box since like Lukaku, and he wasn't very great either. But I mean, we haven't had
because Lukaku now he's better, Rach.
It's a worse league though. I don't take any notice of when people are saying, "Oh, Lukaku's killing it over at Inter," and I'm like, okay, it's a completely different league. I know. I'm happy he's doing well because I actually did like Lukaku. I thought he was a nice guy until he left, and then he was a bit of a dick. But I mean,
all those tweets on him, and he's come out and apologised now, isn't he? I think, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, good luck to him. But it's leaps and bounds a different league completely. So he can smash it over there if he wants, but it's not going to happen over here again.
No, and I think the thing is with him is that he's obviously played a few decent games in Europa League and Champions League and whatnot, but it's a different kettle of fish there. And I think the thing is he does look, but the thing when I did see him this season, he does look a lot fitter and a lot quicker. Rather than he bulked up, which he openly said too much, and he got too so. And his touch was always really, really bad in the way the style that we played under Jose, it just didn't work at all. And when he always played for Belgium, he looked like a Didier Drogba world beater. He never really did that a lot for us. So. He'll do well in the right team and the right way that you play, but he didn't really work for us. But you look at Cavani, Ibrahimovic, they're totally different to Lukaku because they literally run towards the goal, like Chicharito sort of style. I mean, like you said, we've not had that for so long, and he was very underrated as well.
Exactly. I used to love Chicharito. Used to love him.
Little P.
Yeah, used to love him. Had him on the back of one of my shirts. I can't remember which one it is now.
Yeah, but, same. The white one, I think I had it on the back of it.
Yeah, I used to love him. I was gutted when he left. Gutted.
Yeah, same. And I think what happened with him, because when he was at West Ham and that as well, he looked terrible. And I think it just in a way years caught up with him. He started from an early age. He's really good for Mexico and whatever. Played a lot, and I think because his game was about pace and that, like Michael Owen. And when he had to change his game when he got older, and I don't think he was ever really a proper number 9. He was more like running in late and whatever. And I think then he couldn't really change his game. He was never the same. Rather than from like say 20 to 28, he was brilliant. And after that, he got older. He's gone to America now or somewhere. And he's not as good. But don't get me wrong, those years he was at us, he helped us win league titles, which we'll always remember.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely agree.
But yeah, so let's have a quick chat on West Ham. So we've got West Ham away. So I always used to remember when we used to play at Upton Park, it's always tough games away. The fans would be on, on everyone's back, and they would be blowing the bubbles for all the games. Very, very, intimidated atmosphere. And I looked at some of the stats here. In the last 4 games we played at West Ham, we lost 2-0, then we lost 3-1, and then we had a 0-0, and then we last won there. It was January 2017. We won 2-0. So we are due a win, but again, we've got with no pushover. I think it's at 5 o'clock, is it, or 5:30 on Saturday? So it's a massive game.
It is. It's a huge game.
What
I'm
do you
looking
think?
forward. I'm looking forward to it, but I am slightly apprehensive at the same time because they have been playing quite well recently. Obviously, they beat Villa last Monday, and they look like a good team this year.
Moyes is
Obviously,
doing well.
he is. I don't want to lose to him. He grinds my gears. His face
Same.
just pisses me off. But obviously they don't have Mikel Antonio. He's been ruled out with a hamstring injury, which is...
Oh, has he? He's a brilliant player. Really good.
It is. So I guess that's good news for us because they don't have that danger man in there. But obviously they've still got Declan Rice, Yarmolenko, Souček. They do have quite good players. Yeah, they do have quite good players, and Fabianski as well in goal. He's an all right.
And he always plays well against us with Swansea or Arsenal. He always used to play well against us.
Everyone does. Everyone turns into prime Buffon when they play.
I think one of my friends was saying goalkeepers always have a blinder against us at Old Trafford, like it was Tom Heaton. If it was one of the Newcastle goalies, they always ended up doing it, didn't they?
Yeah, it was just
that was the season.
But no, I think
it's like they want to try even harder. They put like a suit on. They're like,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think we are due a win against West Ham. I think we will have to play well. I don't think we will be able to skate past them or take them easy, but I do think we are going to have to put a good shift in. And I think starting on the right foot is absolutely crucial because if we go a goal behind, I just think it'll be a long night.
Definitely. And I think that what we showed really good resolve was the Southampton game. A lot of times in the past, we'd let goals in, and we have always tend to let the first goal in, and then ended up having to come back. And we've done that a lot in away form has been brilliant under Ollie. But it's like we are coming back, which is good to see. But we shouldn't be putting ourselves into these positions and starting slow. And I think that with West Ham, they've obviously got some dangerous players to hit us on the break and whatever. But I think Ollie needs to set it out that we start off really quickly in these games because otherwise we're always fighting to try and get the goals, and the players then next game become tired and whatever. So, like you said, Rach, we need to start well in this game.
We do. We need to hit them where it hurts, get an early goal, and then settle it down a little bit. But yeah, we need to start well, 100%.
But I think interesting to see who he plays. I would, because of the Leipzig game coming up, it'd be interesting to see what he does. I would probably put Matic in there, maybe experience, because I think he did play well at the last game before. Maybe even Mata, because and just maybe even risk it because the Leipzig game is probably more important. You'd probably say.
Yeah, I would say it's a hard one because obviously we do need to get points and we need to start climbing the table. Although we do have that game in hand, we need to just get up there. We can't afford to drop any more points in the Premier League, but obviously it is qualification on the line on Tuesday, that we need our strongest players for. So I would maybe even think about giving Bruno a rest this weekend and maybe starting Donny instead for West Ham, and then you can give Bruno a rest and start Bruno on Tuesday night against Leipzig.
Yeah. I think to also add as well is the form of Greenwood, because I think it's happened to a lot of young players. Second sort of season, full season form tends to always drop, and a load of fans that don't support United now, and even United fans are obviously getting on his back a bit. But young, and the talent the lads got like Scholes and Rio were were going all over him at the weekend again. And he's brilliant, but he's obviously had some of his off-field problems. But I think he hasn't looked that good. But he did come on with James and scored that goal not so long ago. But I just think he needs again bit of a rest and come back fresh, which he did. But he just needs his confidence back again, doesn't he? Really, just a couple of games in a row playing all the time. Like in that Project Restart, he was on fire.
Yeah, he. I think the West Ham game is a perfect game for him to start in and to.
I agree. Start him, I would definitely
get some minutes under his belt. I would maybe start him and Cavani up top instead, and give Rashford and Martial a break. Because I just don't think Martial is in the right frame of mind at the moment. But I think he needs minutes under his belt.
Form.
Yeah, he needs minutes under his belt for sure.
Definitely. And like we said before about Martial at the start, I am confident he'll come back, but I think it's a very, very interesting season for this because Ollie's very, very much really wants, if he's obviously still in the job, he really wants Haaland, and obviously that clause is out there. Everyone knows it's there.
Don't we all?
If we're in the Champions League again next season and he's available, you have to get him. You have to get him, and he did want him before, but when he did want him, the board didn't back him, did they? They said they didn't want him, and you're like, what? He's one of the best players in the entire world.
I know. Look at him now. He's smashing it. Absolutely smashing it, and I think
I like him as well. Like, he seems a really good person. I like him.
Yeah, he does. He does. I think he should be one of the top priorities to be up in that front line as a striker, because we're not going to have Cavani for that long. No. Maybe one year potentially. I think it's
18 months, if that.
Yeah, 18 months. So, and we can't rely on a 33-year-old to bang us in 21 goals a season, because obviously he played against Southampton. He played
PSG.
So I think he's gonna start to get tired. Obviously, he is 33 years old, but obviously he is a beast. You could tell he looks after himself.
Yeah.
But you just don't want to ruin him too much, like run him into the ground kind of thing. So I think
100%.
having him and maybe Greenwood up there, we haven't had like a young and old partnership in a long, long time. So I think
like Rooney and Nistelrooy before.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it could work. So I would look forward to seeing that on Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah. So I think I think that West Ham got 17 points. We got 16. So it's really, really tight up there. But I can't see West Ham carrying on that rest of the season. But you never know. And this season is very much a very odd one. Yeah, definitely. But I've got a feeling with my head or heart, I would say 2-1 Man United, and we probably will let the first goal in, but knowing us, but we do need to start well. But I'm thinking a 2-1 win.
I'm going to go 3-1, just because I think
3-1.
Yeah, I think we'll actually score first, but then I think they will come back into it, and then they'll start to get tired towards the end of the game. They'll leave space open, and then I think we can get 2 quite easy goals then at the end-ish of the match. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, so fingers crossed that these predictions, one of us will get one of them right.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I think no, that's good. So what I did want to go over as well was Ronaldo. Oh my God, the guy is incredible. He scored 750 goals on Wednesday, 750th, and I think I saw as well that he in 3 games in November, Juventus in Serie A, he got 5 goals. It's just crazy. And obviously not so long ago he had coronavirus as well, but he did a big tweet out Instagram to say thanks to all the clubs. So I think he scored over 100 at United, over 100 at Real Madrid, obviously over 100 at Portugal. And he's not too far off at Juventus as well from getting 100 there. So it's just crazy numbers. And Van der Sar put a tweet on saying that I wonder if he's like him to try and say, well, I want to try and get 1,000. So he wouldn't put it past him, because when he has a record in his sights, he goes for it and he gets it. So, and the way he looks after himself, he's got a couple more years at least at the top.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd love to see him back at United, even if it's just for one final season. But
a year.
Yeah. He was when I was growing up, he was kind of the one that my favourite player when I obviously started to get into United properly, when I was old enough to kind of go to the games and understand. I think my first game at Old Trafford was Wigan, and we won 4-1, and Ronaldo scored twice. I think it was. I think I was about 8 at the
No
time.
way.
No, not 8. I would have been a bit older than that.
Yeah.
I can't remember how old I was, but it was my first game. But he was kind of like my favorite player at the time, and he's always been my favorite player in the world ever since he moved. I was absolutely devastated when he left United. I was inconsolable.
Same.
So I'd love to see him back just for the feels, because every United fan loves Ronaldo. I don't know how you can't.
Yeah. And I think we could have, I've done it before, the debates on Ronaldo and Messi, and obviously the different players, but I just think the main thing on Ronaldo is his all-round game, and he's changed it over the years, and now he's more of a number 9, and he still is sometimes, for Juventus, plays him on the wing still. Obviously, he hasn't got the pace as much, but he's got that sort of short pace still. And I've seen the goals numbers, and what the thing about Ronaldo is different to Messi and to any other player I've ever seen. He will always perform the big games, the big occasion, knockout rounds. He always scores. I know it's obviously he's at the big clubs, but there's been other players at big clubs that have not scored in these big games, and he always does it. He always performs, and I think that shows him from the rest, really, in my opinion. And some of the goals he scored in these big games, overhead kicks and hat tricks against Atletico Madrid away, and all this is unbelievable. And he's still doing it now, and I don't think it'll be too long until he gets the record for Portugal, probably, because I think it's another about 7 or 8 away, I think.
Yeah, I think he's insane. He looks after himself so much that I think he'll be playing for a few more years yet. I don't think he'll give it up that easily. But he's insane, and the fact that he's proven in 3 different leagues as well, it just shows.
That's it. I did that. That's really good. That's right. Yeah,
he's insane. Like he's an absolute machine.
Yeah. But it takes to go to these other leagues. But he's gone to these other leagues and being the best player there in the Premier League, Spain. He did the records there, and obviously Italy now as well. Even at his age, it's crazy. And I just think that if they had a bit more luck, they may have even won a Champions League at Juventus. But I think now, because the coronavirus came at the summer and Juventus didn't really improve a lot, I don't think they've got a chance this season. But he, I think it was the last season before, he was just a bit unlucky really in one knockout game. So, but it can happen in European football.
It can. It can.
And he's just unbelievable. I think he's the 3rd highest now, sort of club career goals, or no career goals. I think there's a Czech Republic chap number 1, Pele number 2. So obviously, I'm pretty sure he'll smash that, and obviously Messi could catch him up eventually. But I think he'll definitely become the first person to get past those 2 players in front, really.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I think that we've obviously got West Ham. The games are coming thick and fast. And I'm just looking forward to the Everton game away again, the one in the League Cup, because I know people will say, even if he wins the League Cup, you get these people on TalkSport and whatever, Sky, going, oh, it's only the League Cup. But all these managers, even Ferguson, that started the FA Cup and whatever, it's always got to start with something. And a trophy last season, we got to the 3 semi-finals. If we can somehow win a cup this year, no matter what it is, it'd be a great kickstart for us.
100%. I think he definitely needs to win some sort of silverware this season to take the heat off him a little bit. The only reason that I think Arteta isn't under the radar as much as Ollie, even though he's lost, 3 home games after last night. Obviously they won last night, but before that they lost 3 home games.
They've been terrible.
And he's not under the radar. You never hear Arteta out trending on Twitter. It's just because because we're Manchester United and everyone loves to talk shit about us, and that's just the short of it.
Yeah, the biggest club in the world, most talks about club in the world, and I think with Arsenal, their form, everyone. I think Roy Keane said his legend. He come out and said about obviously all the cheerleaders came out in that game against United. I mean, United didn't play very well. Arsenal got the penalty and won, but everyone's going mad for him since that game. I think they've won 1 game since, which was the Thursday one. They played terrible football. Aubameyang looks absolutely awful, and I knew that Thomas Partey is a really good player, by the way. But other than that, they've not played very well at all. So I think again, he's not getting the same stick as us.
Still really angry that we lost to them.
Yeah, same. That was all. Really I was really frustrated by that. Yeah, I think you may have been right earlier on. We may have done some dodgy substitutions in that game as well. Like again, sort of Ollie again, tactically sometimes he's good, sometimes bad. I think that should sometimes done substitutions at different times.
He's a bit too conservative sometimes, especially with the Chelsea and the Arsenal game. he was way
Just
too
go for it.
conservative, and he was worried about, because I think the stat was we hadn't won at home for a while, and I think
Yes,
that
and the
stat was
Spurs
going
affected
over
us
in
as
his
well.
mind. Yeah, exactly. So he was just way too conservative, and he was just scared almost of fielding an attacking team. But obviously, I feel like even since then he's learned from that, because we saw against PSG, it was a very attacking team.
Yeah,
Against Southampton, very attacking.
yeah,
I was happy to see that.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean he's coming on leaps and bounds. I'm more patient than
definitely.
some people.
Yeah, same as me. I think the thing as well, to, like you said, is that the attacking football is there and we're creating lots of chances. And even we lost that Tuesday game, I was really good. I was like, we actually played really good. It was good to see that in Champions League, and we could compete with the Champions League finalists, which is amazing.
Exactly.
And I think that a lot of times as well this season, we've had some really sucker results with the Tottenham and even the Chelsea and Arsenal and that as well. We should have played better. But it's fine margins again, and if you can somehow get through to top four at the end of this season and to get a trophy, we won't be too far away, but we have to then push on again next summer and build more in the key areas. That's the thing. They had to get the Sancho and Grealish I keep on about, because it was what we did under Fergie. You had each season, you got like Varane or whoever it may be, Nistelrooy, and you got to do it in the key areas. If you don't, you get left behind. And I think that's what's happened to us really. And the other teams have improved, like Chelsea and whatever. We've got to do that next season and improve. But for me, you sell Pogba and you break the bank for Grealish. I think that's what I would do.
I agree. I think we need a defender as well. We need a new centre back as well to kind of put the pressure on Maguire and Lindelof a little bit, because I do think they have been performing very, very well. The past few games, they look to be getting back to their strong points.
They're great as a unit.
We need a central defensive midfielder as well, and obviously a winger
can
as
play
well.
one on their own.
Yeah, we need a right wing as well. So there's a few areas that we need to improve on, but I think the positions that we do have at the moment, I think we're getting there. Like at the start of the season, I know everyone was slating Lindelof and Maguire, saying that they're not good enough, but they've proved recently that they can be good enough. And I mean, Harry Maguire, we had the third best defense in the league last season, and that's all down to Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof last season. We were so underrated in defence that they've had a bad start to the season. That the first 3-4 games were not great at all. So I just think they need to.
Maguire had his off-field stuff as well.
Exactly. So football is a roller coaster of emotions. It goes up, it goes down. You've just got to ride it, and that's just it. If you can't handle it, go support City or something. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think just to finish on from that, like about the centre halves, I think that was the thing with Maguire and Lindelof. They play, one-on-one. People say they can't defend; they're too slow. But again, like I say, Maguire's played some of his best football the last 4 or 5 games. Everton away, colossal, but in those sort of styles, he can do that. And Lindelof's played really well as a team. But Tuanzebe away at PSG was just something else. He was just incredible, and I do feel sorry. He does need to play more. Ollie's probably too scared to sort of sometimes to do that, because they are playing well as a unit. But Bailey, who I do love, but I think maybe you might need to sell him eventually because he just can't keep fit. And the Leipzig defender, I just think that if we got him, it'd be amazing. And I think we have to sign a centre half, because Jones could go, and then I think you've got those positions, Rojo as well. You've got gaps, and you've got Mengi as well, who's the captain in the under-23. So we've got backup. We do need like someone that's a bit more experienced to come in. And I think that's what's doing us at the moment, really. Someone that can defend one-on-one, someone that can defend one-on-one as well.
Yeah,
like
definitely. Yeah, 100%. I think he just didn't have a great game against Istanbul, the first game. So I think
he didn't.
It wasn't great. So
no, he
hopefully
didn't.
he can come back to some sort of form, which is good. I'd maybe play him at the weekend, maybe against West Ham.
I would, because he was suspended the last game. Yeah,
exactly.
And sometimes I think my AirPods are about to go. sometimes we did 3 at the back as well, and that sometimes we haven't done it recently, but with the centre halves we've got back now, we can do that a bit more again, and play more midfielders. And with obviously Shaw, I think, returned really quickly, which is good to see. He's training again, so no, it's great. We're looking at getting these players back, but yeah, I think rather than plugging my other headphones in, which for some reason didn't work at all, I think I might have to cut this short, unfortunately, Rach.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's great.
That's really good. And I really enjoyed it today. We talked about a lot, PSG, West Ham, lots of other things as well. Big talking points. And I really enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me, Rach. And hopefully you'll come on again with me soon.
Yep, absolutely no problem. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much. And good luck with everything on your side with all your social media stuff as well. You're doing great.
Thank you very much.
Your stuff you're doing with She Devils and all that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No, cheers, Rach. All the best anyway. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Cheers for watching.